It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show! Hey everybody, it's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Schick, and joining me for this week's episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey gang.
And Les Webster.
Hello all.
How are you doing, guys?
Cool.
Doing well, thanks. And you?
Doing alright. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Trying to tolerate the heat. It is summer. Woohoo!
Well, the northern hemisphere anyway.
Well, that's true. Good point. Good point. So what's been going on in your world, guys?
Well, this week I'm going to do something crazy. I'm actually going to talk about something I'm not doing.
Okay.
Because I think I may be the only person, speaking of hemispheres, in the western hemisphere not playing Pokemon Go.
Woohoo! No, I'm not doing it either.
Oh, cool. I'm not alone.
And I had the ability, so...
You have the ability or you don't have the ability?
I had not the ability.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, no smartphone. You don't have a smartphone?
Flip phones don't do it.
Flip phone. Kirk to Enterprise. Kirk to Enterprise.
Me not smartphone.
me a dumb phone.
It's amazing how this has just blown up because and
it transcends age. It's not like kids are doing it, and it's not like grown-ups are doing it. Everybody's doing it. It's absolutely amazing. There are people I work with that are doing it. There are friends of mine all over the place that are doing it. It's just insane.
And they're talking about it on social media. You just cannot get away from it. I
don't want to go on Facebook anymore. I don't get on Facebook a lot anyway, but...
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
What can I say? I'm a Twitter
guy. Yeah, I'm surprised how it's just, man, I can't recall anything just taken off the way this thing has.
It will be interesting for me to see how long it maintains this level of enthusiasm.
Well, I just read something just within the last day or so saying that they're going to start charging $12.99 a month. So that may kill a lot of...
Holy cats, that's insane. That's a lot. For something that's just a significant time suck anyway. That's insane.
Well, that will probably kill it off. But hey, there may be some... I hadn't heard anything of a backlash, but if there's a backlash to it, I'm sure they'll go, okay, maybe price reduction or whatever, but
a month?
Who knows? Yeah.
$99 a month. Wow.
That's what I thought I saw.
Some people will pay it, too. That's the scary thing.
The only anti I have heard, guys, is that people say their phone crashes. And I look at them and I say, well, when you've got this many people at one time playing, and it's worldwide, yeah, your phones are going to crash. You're not going to be able to play it.
Well, yeah, they crash their servers pretty much once a day the first 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's just the first 3 days. I don't even know how many times it's crashed since then. But yeah, it's a brand new app, and it's going to have bugs.
Yeah, there's going to be issues.
There's 14 bajillion people playing it.
Yeah. Nothing goes off perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of funny to see people sitting in their cars in parking lots or walking parking lots trying to find locations.
Trudging around near rivers finding dead bodies.
True.
Or skulking around in people's backyards without their permission.
Going to the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that one.
I had not heard about that. I heard about it was a hack or something like that, to where people were getting robbed.
Yes, in Missouri.
Yeah.
They nabbed the 3 guys that were doing it, and 17 and 2 18-year-olds.
I'm glad they got them, but
Yeah.
wow. You talk about Facebook. The number 2 thing, other than someone posting images of whatever creature they caught, has been a picture of someone in a bunny suit in a van. Was saying this is how 28-year-olds get kidnapped or something along those lines.
that old meme of the van with free candy spray painted on the side.
Yeah, kind of
free Pokemon.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, pretty much.
That would be great.
So yes, so you're not doing Pokemon Go. Okay, that's good.
I am not.
Okay.
It's glad to be part of the 3 people that are not.
Yep. Hey, we dare to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So, Les, what have you been up to other than not playing Pokemon Go?
I am trying to clear the table of reading material so I can get to a new book I found.
Uh-oh.
Mycroft Holmes. This is the book co-written by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I found a copy of the first volume, the first paperback.
Cool.
And I'm ready to sit down with this and see how he handles it.
Yeah.
Since we know that they're going to do a comic book series from it, too.
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, I've been catching up on my reading, but I do want to point out a couple of things that, if you're a long-time listener to the podcast, I think we kind of need to pat ourselves on the back a little bit.
Oh, damn. What do we do now?
Well, I'm sure y'all guys saw this, and y'all and you in the audience probably seen it too. That Dr. Doom's getting his own series now. They're calling it the infamous Iron Man, so it's going to be a little bit twisted. But for those of y'all who've listened to one of our earlier podcasts, we were talking about characters that who we wanted to see have their own book. Someone mentioned Dr. Doom as
who called that? Who was it that called that?
I don't remember. Do you remember?
It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's that, and then just after that happened, DC announced a gothic romance miniseries that's going to star Deadman. And just our previous episode, we talked about genres out in comics that are no longer around, really, and one of them we mentioned was romance. So, wow.
So there we go.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, so, hey, we kind of lucked out there.
Profits, baby. Profits.
Woohoo! All right. Well, speaking about branching out and all that, yes, that was a bad segue. I'm sorry.
I don't ride that Segway.
Woohoo! No, you ride into the ditch, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
With his dumb phone.
Today's episode, we kind of want to take a look at some of the comic properties that are heading to the small screen. Yeah, we could say small screen, although some of them are starting to get bigger and big, almost as big as the theater screens. But
yeah, some small screens are as big as my car, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I have a small car.
Woohoo! Kind of because it seems like 2-3 times a week we hear something being adapted either to the movie or to TV. But for today's episode, we're going to stick to TV series. So we all picked a couple of titles that kind of intrigued us that we definitely want to check out. And Les, I think you wanted to start this one, didn't you?
I will do that.
Okay.
The first one I looked at, I was really interested in, was the title Scarlet. This was a Marvel Icon print back in 2010, written by Michael Bendis and art by Alex Maleev. I really enjoyed this line, although it was a real short run at that time. It was the story of a a young girl in Portland who rebels against a corrupt society and ends up kickstarting a second American Revolution. I'm hoping they do this justice. I can see that it can be amusing and it can definitely be provocative, especially at this time of the year or close to the elections. I would suspect if it does show up, it would be in the fall, and I can only hope that it does justice to the book itself.
Which would be just hilarious timing.
Yeah, definitely.
Those elections, that would be great.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Now, you said that was an Icon title. Is it not tied to any of the rest of the universe?
No, it isn't. Yet the article we were perusing was saying that it could be that all of a sudden the Marvel Universe starts coming around it. But that doesn't fit. This doesn't fit that. This is not a superhero. This is not a spy. This is just a person reacting to life around her.
I really hope they don't do that. I mean, tied into the Marvel universe. It really wouldn't need to. I mean, there's a reason why it's popular, why the book was popular. So you really don't change what succeeds. I mean, you can tweak it a little bit, but what? Go ahead.
You say you don't change what works, but people do all the time.
Well, that's sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't work. So hey, right. But like I said, I did come back and say you can tweak it, but that's a major change.
Yeah,
so.
That would be weird. I have another quick question. When did that book come out?
It was back in 2010.
Okay. I was just curious because it certainly has echoes of Hunger Games in there a bit.
Yes, it does.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there are only so many stories out there, so you're never going to get too far. There's always going to be one that's kind of similar to another. So it's not a deal or anything. I just think it's interesting.
And if I may, yes, on the list there's one called Briggs Land, which essentially is another revolution. So
there you go. Apparently that's on people's minds lately.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that usually when you get apocalyptic and stuff like that, it has more to do society, as far as reflecting society, that stuff has more to do with economy than like politics a lot of the time.
I'll agree to that, yes.
Very cool, very cool. Mikey.
My turn. I'm going to go with one that, to be honest, I'm not doubting that it's in production. I find it hard. I would absolutely love to see it done well, but The Wicked and the Divine as an ongoing TV series, Holy crap. How badass would that be? I mean,
Mary?
Oh yeah, because for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it is a series in which there are a group of 12, not exactly random, but widely scattered in terms of pantheon, gods from various cultures who are manifested in young people and in essence given 2 years to live. And so they go around and they exhibit godlike powers, and they're basically, because this is set in modern times, they're basically like superstars. They're like not even reality TV type people, they're just famous for being what they are. I guess that's weirdly related to the reality TV thing, but there's some. Oh man, it's just the story started out based on this one like 14-year-old fangirl type in England, and it has just gone wild since then, and it is extremely popular. More than likely, anybody listening to the sound of our voices knows that, but just in case you don't. But yeah, so the whole godlings idea on TV would be really interesting. and it also could be done really well, and it could be done really poorly.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a little faith that Matt Fraction and Kelly Sue DeConnick can do something useful with it, especially if they include Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey somehow. That would be awesome too. But yeah, I would dearly love to see that.
I can see why. I think that's a great premise. And let's just see how they run.
Yeah. It has all the markings of it being a good TV show. It's a good choice. I like that one. My first choice has been one that's been talked about for a couple years. They talked about doing it as a TV show. Then it was going to be a movie. Then I think they was going to do it as a limited run series. And I think right now it's still a possibility as a series on FX. And what I'm talking about is Why the Last Man. It's from Vertigo, written by Brian K. Vaughan, who also did Saga, Pride of Baghdad, several other very popular books, and with art by Pia Guerra. And the whole premise is a man named Yorick, hence Why the Last Man, and his pet monkey Ampersand are the last male mammals on the planet when a disease comes and wipes out the rest of the race. So you have factions of females trying to decide what to do. Okay, do we try to bring back the male mammal population, someone to kill him off and just have the planet just basically an Amazon paradise? And really all he's wanting to do is he's wanting to get to Australia because that's where his girlfriend is. He wants to be with her. And this was a book that lasted about 5 years, and it was a really good book, and it was critically acclaimed. If you've not read it, you do need to check it out. So I could definitely see this as a series. I can't see this as a movie. I don't know how you could do this as a movie. Well, I mean, I guess you could. It just doesn't seem, to me, it doesn't seem like it would be a fit for a movie. That it would be better as a ongoing show.
I agree. It's too expansive to try to fit it even to a 3-hour slot for a movie. There are so many good parts in this because you have drama, you have a lot of humor.
Oh yeah.
And it's a great read. I recommend that one too. Go out and get the trades because it is a fun read. I think it went, I want to say 100 issues, if not close to it. It was just a good, solid read.
Yeah, my worries about trying to cram that into one movie would be that it would just turn into something that would look like a ripoff of I Am Legend.
Ooh, yeah,
True.
That's a good point. Yep.
And that would be bad.
Yeah.
So let's stretch it out. Let's make it a series.
Yeah. Let's treat the source material right. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
For first.
Okay, Les, what you got?
I have a choice of a book that was put out by B. Claymore, and this one is, I want to say 3, maybe 4 volumes long, or into the series now. It's called Hawaiian Dick. It is a cop show, and I think you can, instead of looking at it as Magnum, I would say it's more like Rockford Files. The main character is an alcoholic investigator who ends up in Hawaii when things don't go right back home. And of course, in Hawaii, he enjoys drinking and solving crimes. Some of the twist there is some are going to be supernatural crimes, and therefore you've got a little bit of a touch of the strange there.
Woo!
When I read this was going to be in preparation, I was really happy to see somebody listed as starring in this, and this is Johnny Knoxville. Knoxville can play a straight man. He can play an action star, and in this one he gets to do comedy also. So I'm ready for this one. Hopefully this will be a series that, in fact, it's got listed NBC involved in it. So I could see them trying to bring a touch of Rockford back to the television screen.
I can see them doing it.
Another comparable show that's a little more recent might be The Glades. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's the guy.
Yes.
The guy who's a cop is not a drunk, but it's kind of otherwise. He's kind of he's in Florida and he doesn't really want to be. He was kind of forced to move along by something that happened in his past, but can't really stop being a cop, sort of thing.
It also reminds me of Joe R. Lansdale's cop show, Leonard and... Sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
Woohoo!
Thought you were going to say Leonard Part 6 there for a minute, but
Heaven forbid. Happened, Leonard.
It concerned me a little bit that it would be on NBC, but I mean, who knows? It could probably.
NBC's gotten gutsy lately. They've done stuff like Blacklist and what was the other one with Sif? What was the name of that show? I'm drawing a blank on the name of that show.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The one, you know the one.
Yeah, that one.
The one with the chick from the book.
Yeah, with that cast. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The girl who was in that thing, you know.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Sure, we'll go with that one.
Sure.
Instant shutdown. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd probably work. Yeah.
Sure.
So
sounds like it'd be fun, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a show. I just my only concern on all that would be NBC, as I just said. But hey,
yeah,
who knows? Very cool choice, and as was said before we started the show, in our pre-show, we're not surprised that you picked that one, Les.
Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, there's an ongoing series right now of that. So, and you mentioned it
right.
a couple of weeks ago. So that's
fine.
He's surprised. I think issue 2 of that is coming out next week, maybe. I'm not sure.
Something like that.
I think it's next week.
Cool, Mikey, what you got?
I'm gonna go in a slightly different direction because I think this one will be fun because I've liked this series. Apparently, they're working on a hack slash series. This is, if you're not familiar, this was an Image book. The last thing I saw was a one-shot type thing, probably last Halloween, honestly. Because the main character, Cassie, is a young woman who's, probably not spoiling anything here, probably. Her mother was kind of a serial killer, like from a horror movie type person. And so Cassie survived that and decided, okay, if I can survive that, then I can travel around and hunt down other killers like Mom. And so it's a real fun action horror with just a dash of comedy type thing going. And I think this would make a really fun series. I don't know how long it would last, and I would hope they would find ways to tell a decent story over the course of a season just to kind of keep things tied together, because they could take it in a way where it's really just Monster of the Week, and I think that would do it a disservice.
Yeah.
But so it would be fun.
One of the things they would need to do is avoid the Buffyism of where, it's a Monster Week until you deal with the big bad at the season's end. That would be something that they would need to try to avoid. Otherwise, there's already going to be somewhat of a comparison anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
But do what you can to avoid that if they can.
Right. Tell your own stories.
Yeah, it is a fun book. I like that one a lot, and I'm glad that was one of them I kind of looked at as well. And I'm not surprised that you picked that one because it is a good book, and I know you like horror.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Who got me into horror? Same guy who got me into comics.
Oh, that person. Okay. Okay. Well, send all your complaints to. My second pick is another Vertigo book, which I've when we started doing the picks, I was like, wait a minute, I sense a theme here. It's a series that's already been over for a bit. It's available in trades, and I would definitely recommend that one. It's called Scalped, and it is a crime book that takes place on a Native American reservation, and the premise is that a former resident of the reservation is coming back home, but he's also, if I'm not mistaken, he is an FBI agent, or is that right, Les? Do you remember? He's a law enforcement. I know.
He's an Indian agent, isn't he?
It's something like that. So he is back, kind of undercover, trying to break down the organization. There's a criminal organization in the reservation, and he's trying to deal with that, but he's also dealing with the fact that he's been gone for all these years, and now he's come back, so there's a little resentment and all of that. It was a series that was written by Jason Aaron, and it was a really, really good book, so I could see this being a successful series. When I first started seeing the commercials for Longmire, I first thought, until I thought it was going to be something that it was inspired by Scalped, and it may have, because it's almost a similar thing, except for, I mean, it takes place on a Native American reservation, but obviously the lead is not.
I think the Longmire books were before this.
Okay, so Longmire is based off of novels. Okay.
Yes.
That I did not know. Okay. I retract my statement then.
Good choice, though.
But yeah, it sounds like an interesting twist, or a potentially interesting twist on a cop show.
Yeah.
It's good to have twists on cop shows these days, because so few of them do.
Because, well, they're all the same, and in some cases they're spin-offs of, or they're clones of others. I mean, obviously the NCIS, we had 4 or 5 Law and Orders, and those were kind of the same. They had changed them up a little bit for each one, but it was still kind of the same feel and all. But
for the most part, yeah.
So yeah, you got to make it somehow interesting and make it different from this other show. Otherwise, it may not get the interest that it deserves. Mm-hmm. So
good choices all around.
Yeah, definitely. Any others that y'all want to kind of just shout out and say, hey, I'm kind of interested in that one as well?
Harrow County.
Yeah.
How's that for a shout? I just throw the name out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this has got to happen. I would get really nervous if this was threatening to show up on a major network. I mean, it's currently the scuttlebutt is sci-fi, which could be really good. That could work really well, because they're just gonna have to make it creepy. I mean, because that's the way it's supposed to be. It's got to be creepy. If they somehow find a way to take the creepy out of it, it won't work. It just won't.
If not sci-fi, maybe FX, since they seem to be successful with The Strain, and that would seem kind of a no-brainer since they're both published through Dark Horse. But hey.
Yeah, and which network does American Horror Story? Is that FX as well?
I think that's FX as well.
There you go then. Hell. Sold. There
you go. Another one that kind of intrigued me is for a book that's not even out yet, which surprised Yeah. It's funny how some of these get optioned before the books even come out, and one I'm talking about is Briggs Land. It's a Brian Wood series about a anti-government group that lives out in, I guess, the outskirts of a town or something like that in the woods, and so it's it sounds like it might be kind of interesting, and given how things are right about now, just in the world, I can see there being a lot of interest in it as a TV show. Just what's going on.
I would like to see this too, but I hope that they don't use the tag ripped from the news of today, because
only Law and Order does that.
Oh, that's true.
Ripped from the headlines.
Is that a trademark or something?
Not that I know of.
They trademarked their dun-dun music thing, so.
Well, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Another one that intrigued me was Concrete, the Paul Chadwick comic book. It's just run in various segments, 2, 3 issue story arc about a man who wakes up one morning and he is all concrete. So he's trying to fit back into his normal life, which is very Abby somebody. So with him trying to be a normal person, but being made of concrete, it's a fascinating storyline that Chadwick has done, because Concrete is a very touching series. And obviously the main character, Rhonda Lithgow, is a nice person to start. So he's trying to remain nice and try to cope with everything that's going on around him.
Cool.
Yeah, it would be. I would something like that. I would be worried that they would try to go a little too David Lynchy with it, but maybe that's just my brain being weird this time of night.
He can stop robbers, from fleeing if they're driving at him, things like that, or bullets deflect. But he's not a superhero by any means. And according to the article, they don't know if it's going to be animated or live action. So preferably, I'd like to see it live action.
I would think it would have a better impact that way.
Even if he was CGI.
Well, given that description, he would almost have to be. But yeah, I still think it would work better with real people around him. It would look better.
I think so. And of course, shout outs to the series that are returning. They've already been re-upped for their next season. Arrow, Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Jessica Jones, among others.
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow. And Supergirl is actually moving over to CW, and they're going to tie everything together. That's going to be kind of cool.
I'm looking forward to see how they perform that magic.
It's got to be part of Flashpoint.
I think so. And they were laying Flashpoint out at the end of The Flash last season.
Yeah. And don't know if I know you saw it, Les. I don't know if you saw it, Mike, but they've already put up images of, I forgot the actor's name, but the actor is playing Wally West on Flash and release images of him in a Kid Flash outfit, and he looks good.
I did see that. Yeah, it did look pretty good.
It looked pretty good. So that's gonna be interesting, because if it's Flashpoint and Barry doesn't have the powers, it's gonna be interesting to see how Wally gets his. So we'll see. It'll be fun. I've enjoyed Flash a ton.
As have I.
We are in a golden age of superhero properties right now.
If they can just work on Arrow a little bit.
I'm talking in general, not anything specific.
Yeah,
I'm not saying everything is gold. I'm just saying
no.
There's a lot of stuff out there, and a lot of it is good. So a lot of people are really enjoying it.
When I saw Supergirl, it was good. I really love the crossover with Flash, and the fact that now all those are going to be tied in a little bit more. Hopefully, we can see a little bit more interaction between those characters, because the chemistry was there. It was fun to watch them work together to fight off the bad guy. It's funny because a lot of people talked about this. We should have got this on the big screen with Superman and Batman.
Yeah, there was a lot of hate for that movie. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We kind of switched off about that, but a lot of people who did not like the movie have seen the extended version and says, "Oh man, I like it a little bit better now. Things are a little better explained." It's funny what happens when you add 30 minutes of content.
Of cutting room floor footage. Yeah.
Well, it just kind of makes you wonder. Obviously, they didn't make the right choices on what to cut out and what to leave in. I don't know. But hey, that's not my job. So
our job is just to criticize them for it.
Yeah. Well, at least we saw the movie, then we criticize. We didn't criticize before the movie came out.
That's true. Now, as far as Supergirl goes, CW is going to be showing the episodes on Monday nights starting in August. So if you have missed the series, they're going to run 2 episodes a night each Monday to get you to the April 10th opening of the series on the CW.
Okay.
Wow, cool.
Nice little range between CBS and CW.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Any other series kind of caught your eye before we kind of wrap this one up and go into our weekly picks?
No, I'm good.
I think I'm done.
No love for Krypton?
None whatsoever. Why?
Okay, well, just want to make sure.
Nope.
Like we said before the show, it looks like it's going to be Gotham on another planet.
If I understood the premise, it's supposed to be Kal-El's grandfather, so it would be Jor-El's dad.
Yeah.
So we're talking many, many, many years. We'll see. I'm not exactly excited about it, but who knows?
Right.
At least we know we're not going to have Lex Luthor there and Toyman there and all the freaking villains showing up.
Just the ones in outer space. You know.
Well, just the ones on ones on Krypton, which would be only basically the Krypton, which would make sense.
I bet they could find ways to play and get some other villains in there. You could throw some Green Lantern stuff at them.
Well, that's true.
Gotta go back in time a bit, but that's all right.
I mean, that's one of my nitpicks about Gotham, and I mean that wasn't the reason why I stopped watching it. I stopped watching it because I just lost interest. But it's just the fact that they've essentially done all the villains while Bruce hasn't even started his journey in training to become Batman, unless they have started that, but he's still an awful young age. But hey, it's successful, so, and people like it, so they enjoy it. That's fine.
People are enjoying it. That's the important thing.
If they're enjoying it, that's fine. Alrighty, so with that, we're going to take a quick little break, and we'll come back with our weekly picks. And we're back with our weekly picks. I am leading off for today's episode, and my first choice is A&A number 5, which of course A&A stands for Archer and Armstrong. This is from Valiant, and it's Archer and Armstrong. If you've not checked it out, it's a really funny book. But what has me really excited about this particular issue is Faith makes an appearance because it's Archer and Faith first date. So yeah, nothing can go wrong here. They'll just have a nice quiet dinner and then maybe go see a movie or moonlight walk. Yeah, it'll just be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we know that ain't gonna happen. So it's been leading up to this, so I'm excited. It should be fun. And of course, Faith's new series starts that week too. So little poke there.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. There you go. Hey.
Do you think that part of the date story will appear in her book? Not necessarily a crossover, but
it might, because I mean, in the mini series they did before, there were conversations between the two of them a couple of times.
Yeah.
They would call each other.
Yeah, I mean there would be. I'm sure there would be some mentions in her book and phone like Mike said, phone conversations or just a little bit of follow up. But yeah, I don't see it being crossover. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be some nods and references to it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that does sound like fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Faith. I like Faith. She's a great character. And like I said, Archer and Armstrong's a really funny book.
Don't they have a goat in their series?
No, that's Quantum and Woody.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, wrong Valiant duo.
Yeah, wrong comedy Valiant duo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the other one. They're pretty funny too.
But thanks for playing. Speaking of which, Mikey, it's your turn.
Speaking of playing, yeah.
Yep.
All right, mine is not quite so lighthearted. My first pick. I'm going with Red Team Double Tap Center Mass #1. This is a Dynamite book. It is written by Garth Ennis, drawn by Craig Cermak, and it is a year after the events of the first Red Team series. And that series was based around a group of New York cops who kind of took the law into their own hands a bit. And this continuation is a year later, and the two survivors from that team are kind of working together again. And the first Red Team series was really good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of this.
Woohoo!
Are they planning to bring in more members to the team?
I don't know. This
Okay.
is the #1. I haven't seen. I haven't gotten previews yet for that one, but I would think probably. I would expect it. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be cool to see that too.
To me, that would be a nice way to start it, to round out the team again and gear them up for it.
Yep.
Are there new members? Read the book.
Well, and this is
Wow.
Previews is billing this as a 9-issue series, so
Okay.
there's plenty of time to introduce characters.
That's true.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There we go. Wes, what you got?
My first choice is from Dark Horse, and it is a title brought to you by the 4 men that brought you the original stuff: Aragonis, Evander, Luth, and Sakai. They bring you the first of a 12-issue series called Gru, Fray of the Gods.
Woohoo!
In this one, you've got the gods fighting, and we're talking about the Roman, the Hindu, any god form that is thought of. And of course, they use Gru as their pawn. And like they said in the write-up, unwitting, of course. So I'm looking forward to this, because I think this is going to be, once again, it's going to be fun. I'm sorry to take you away from the somber that Mike just had, but let's laugh it up again.
I'm totally looking forward to this. By the way,
Wait.
Tom, make sure
Yes.
you pull that one for me, will you?
Okay. I already had you on the list. You mean Gru was unwittingly? Wow.
Unwitting.
That's
It's there's not like a pun in there or anything, is there?
Not that I can see.
I can't see how that would ever happen to him. I just don't.
Call him unwitting all you want, just don't call him a mendicant.
That's right. And don't call them late for dinner.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah.
My second choice is it's also a #1. We got a lot of #1s this week. Not complaining. It's just it's good. It's Rom. He has returned. This is IDW. For those who remember the toy back from the late 70s, early 80s, and there was also a Marvel comic. This is actually his first time in a comic since that series, and it's been a long time. Rom is a alien who comes to Earth to eliminate another alien force that's called Dire Wraiths. And Dire Wraiths have the ability to change their forms to look human. So there's obviously, if you're familiar with the comic book series, there's going to be obviously some elements that will not be in a new series because those are Marvel owned. But the whole Rom and the Dire Wraiths, that's owned by Hasbro, and IDW has a license for them as well as the Micronauts and obviously G.I. Joe and Transformers. So this ought to be interesting. Christos Gage and Chris Ryle's writing it, and Ryle is a big Rom fan. So
yeah, he's been all over it on Twitter.
Oh God, yeah. You can't get him to be quiet about it.
He's a little bit excited.
Not that I'm complaining.
Right,
I just
okay.
he's decided, and that's awesome that he's that excited. I have a good feeling about this. Mikey.
I'm next. Then I get to take it dark again.
Yay.
Because apparently that's just the mood I'm in this evening. I am going with my second pick with Tales from the Dark Side, This is number 2. This is another IDW book, strangely enough. And I want to say I mentioned this somewhere recently, but so this is Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez, the guys behind Lock and Key. And their initial plan, Tales from the Dark Side, was a TV series?
Yes.
Is that right? Back in the 90s?
I think so.
I think it was early or late 80s.
Yeah, it could have been. But this was Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. Their plan was to reboot that TV series, and the deal for the TV series kind of didn't happen, and so they were like, "Screw it, we'll make comics." And so this is the result. And the first one was really good, and this second issue is the start of a two-parter, and I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Ooh.
As am I. Yeah, the original TV series was Roald Dahl as the creator.
Wow.
He that made Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Kitty and some other books.
Yeah. Those books, and this is a bit of a sidetrack, but some of those books, there's some really dark and weird stuff in those books.
Yes, there
I
are.
remember reading, I was reading, like a year or two ago, we had gotten a stack of those books for my son, and I was reading James and the Giant Peach, and there's some really weird stuff, and it's Fantastic Mr. Fox, there was some really dark stuff in that one, and it was just some weird stuff. I was really surprised, because I know, those are beloved books, like the world over, and I was just, it was wild. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's fine.
You just iterated what I said, and that's true. You backed me up. It's so true.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that means you're up next, right, Les?
Well, I'm going to stay toward the dark this time.
Oh.
Woo.
It's true. From Dark Horse comes Weird Detective number 2.
I see what you did.
Dark Horse, that's good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Weird Detective, yes.
In this one, the main character, Detective Green, is hunting a Lovecraftian horror that is leaving empty skins of human victims. He's also trying to see what the connection between this and a crime family is. As well in the story, his partner, Detective Fez, is trying to learn what Green's true identity is. If you've read the first issue, which I highly recommend, I'm not going to tell you what the true identity is. You'll have to find out yourself.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Yeah, Les and I had some conversation about this, because he actually turned me to this. He was like, you need to get this, you need to get this.
He turned you to this? I reviewed it. You didn't read my review? Come on now. Jeez.
It was bought before your review was posted. Dude.
Oh, okay. Cool. Even better.
So, I read it, and then I was like, okay, the next day, okay, Les, let's talk about this. And yeah, it's a really good book. Yeah. So, and Les got a couple of other people interested in this book. Read the first issue and go, wow, this is good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, good choices all around. We do that. I know that. Not that I don't want to sound like we're patting ourselves on the back, but there's just a lot of good books out there, and this week is pretty awesome. I pared down my list quite a bit just to get it to the point where I go, okay, here's my alternatives just in case you guys pick my picks. So,
which we were successful at.
Yes. So, a lot of good stuff next week, man. A lot of good stuff. Alrighty. Any other special shout-outs before we wrap things up? Any other? Okay, sure.
The Overstreet Price Guide comes out this week.
Okay.
And they have a special edition, which they're calling their Hall of Fame edition, and it is dedicated to Russ Heath, the man that brought you so many DC War comics. And this is same price as the standard hardback, but it is a different cover since it is the Russ Heath. So I recommend it just because they're going to have articles about Russ Heath.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm going to throw out a little bit of shout out to the guys at the Countdown podcast. These are a couple of guys, Paul and Wayne from Australia, who talk about a lot of different stuff, but mostly movies. And they'll usually like do a top 10, or they'll do top 10s and they'll do bottom 10s of movies of varying genres and varying topics, sort of thing. And it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend giving it a listen if you get a chance. It is, not surprisingly, it is a Potter and Family podcast. They're a lot of fun. Check them out if you're into movies. And if you're into Australians with opinions about movies.
Woohoo!
Boy.
Oh no, don't stereotype. Jeez.
See, I almost went with Good Day, Mate, and I decided, you know what, that's not right, so I won't do that, and then you did that. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I want to do a shout out to a friend of ours who's been on our show a couple of times, yet not on our podcast, and we will rectify that real soon. Shout out to Bricayla. We're thinking about you, girl, and we love you, and we're going to have you on real soon, and can't wait, because, oh my God, that's going to be a long cast, so I'm going to just warn y'all right now.
It's going to be a circus.
You won't feel it, but it's going to be a long one. So, shout out to her, sending our love to you, girl. Okay, any other thing before we wrap things up?
Just the usual stuff, I think.
Alrighty. Our usual shout-outs to the aforementioned Potter family. If you're on Twitter, just do a hashtag Potter and Family, and you will see tons and tons of good people putting out some good shows. They've been very nice to us to spread the word of the fellowship, and we're trying to return that love. Thank you guys so much. We are so much in your debt, it's not even funny. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Second shout out, of course, to our guys, Manny the Martyr, for this awesome music that we use for the show. These are awesome guys, Joel and the gang. Thank you very much, guys. It's very much appreciated. I don't want to do the you guys rock because that's kind of stupid, but you do rock, so hey, it's true. And of course, gentle listener, thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it so much. Please feel free to contact us with any feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. If you got any questions, we're willing to answer them. Any suggestions, any comments, it's always greatly appreciated. We also humbly ask you to write reviews wherever you find our episodes, whether it's iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play. Am I missing anything?
No. And if you don't have the time to write out a review, just rate us. Most of them have some sort of rate or thumbs up or whatever. Just hit that real quick on your way out,
It's much appreciated.
Yep.
And you can contact us through either the website, www.thefellowshipofgeeks.net. There is a About Us, Contact Us page. You can always send us an email at the Fellowship of the Geeks. We are on Facebook, the Fellowship of the Geeks. We're also on Twitter, at Fellowship Geeks. Mikey's Twitter page is at Mikey Geek, and mine is at Tom TC Geek.
Yeah, give us a holler. Let us know what TV show you're looking forward to, whether it's going to be this season or sometime in the future. If there's something you've heard about we haven't mentioned, holler at us. Let us know.
Definitely. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up, guys?
I don't think I have any thoughts left at this point.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. You, Les?
I'm pretty thought out.
Okay, and with that, we thank you for listening. It's very much appreciated, as I've said before. Till next time, guys, keep reading comics and keep supporting your local stores. We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at the Fellowship of the Geeks, and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,